The PPPC administration's Hallmark Low Carbon Development Strategy LCDS 2030 outlines a robust mechanism for the mobilization of financing that will be accrued from the country's forest resources. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, highlighted the strengths of the strategy as he moved the LCDS 2030 motion during the National Assembly on Monday.
The 2009 LCDS was a truly pioneering strategy, far ahead of its time and visionary in every respect. Visionary in its articulation about on our case for earning revenue in exchange for the climate services that we're providing globally, and visionary in articulating the utilization of these resources to put Guyana on a path of accelerated economic development, but along a low-carbon trajectory.
Minister Singh reflected that in 2015, Guyana, under the leadership of the PPC government, was well positioned as a global leader in low-carbon development. However, when the former APNU-AFC coalition took office that year, the strategy, as well as the projects intended to improve the livelihood of citizens, were halted.
It would be recalled, sir, that one of the flagship projects, in fact I should say the flagship project under the low-carbon development strategy at the time, was the Amila Falls hydropower project. And had that project not been derailed by the deliberate actions of the then APNU-AFC opposition, Amila would have been in operation today and would have been supplying more than 150 megawatts of power, of clean power from a renewable source, from hydropower, to the national grid as we speak.
Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai noted that as part of the national consultation, the LCDS Multi-Stakeholder Steering Committee, MSSC, was re-established to guide the LCDS as it did in the period from 2009 to 2015.
Consultations were taken to every hinterland region, engaging Amerindian leaders and community development chairpersons from clusters within the many districts. To report that there is adequate representation of Amerindians on the MSSC, I am pleased to announce that the recently elected National Tushaus Chair has been included almost immediately upon his assumption to that stakeholder committee.
Meanwhile, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat restated the PPC government's commitment to achieving most of Guyana's electricity requirements through renewable energy and utilizing natural gas, while at the same time pursuing renewable energy opportunities.
And if the previous administration had gone through with the plans that we would have left behind in 2015, today we would be receiving electricity or power supply at a much cheaper cost than we are paying for it today. We are paying today, Mr. Speaker, close to 30 cents US cents per kilowatt. Had the previous administration continue with our plans of constructing the Amila Falls hydro project, we would probably be paying at least 50% of that today.
Guyana in 2009 launched the first low-carbon development strategy as a developing country, setting out a vision for inclusive, sustainable development while simultaneously maintaining the country's forests. Our forests account for approximately 85% of the country's territory to help meet some of the most urgent challenges the world faces. Guyana also has the second highest percentage of forest cover on Earth and is working with partners to sustain 99.5% of that forest while building the foundation for a new low-carbon ecosystem economy.